Hello, world. Welcome to episode 163 of the Jimmy Canz Show. Prediction time this Saturday. Backlash, France, coming to us from Lyon, France, at the LDLC Arena. This is the first ever PLE from France. We will again, like Chamber, have a different start time than normal for those of us here in the States. Not quite as early as the Australia show, but it will be a 1 p.m. Eastern. So,
Okay.
have a little lunch and enjoy Backlash. If you're on the West Coast, maybe you can have some brunch.
Well, I think it's time this time in history,
Mm-hmm.
with us being super pretty technologically advanced.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I see it as a good move. I think they waited to the right time to become more global with their live events.
Yeah,
This wasn't a regular thing even in the recent past, in the last 15 years.
very true.
So it's I think the timing is right and I like it. I like
Well,
having events on a different time of the day. I like it.
Well, I could be mistaken. I think I might have heard it mentioning in passing, but I think we're in a new era.
Mm.
I think they might have mentioned something once or twice or 200 times.
I've heard it. I've heard it. I've heard it. I've heard it. And what's the name of it? Is it the Renaissance?
No, no, no. Hey, you owe Cody money.
So this is the repayment era.
Yeah, I guess so. So let's get into it. Not a very big card, but some interesting matchups. We will kick things off here with a matchup for the women's tag team titles as the new super duo of Jade Cargill and the EST Bianca Belair will challenge the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, who will most likely have the rest of Damage Control out there with them in the form of Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Um, I think honestly, they're been building Jade up with the WWE audience so much so that I think we're going to see new champions here.
Mm.
What do you think, Rod?
I agree. I definitely think that it's also for a bigger building down the road with Jade and Bianca. I
Mm-hmm.
also think that Kabuki Warriors have had, they've done their service.
Mm-hmm.
They've held those titles, and I know that's a more grueling schedule than a lot of people. So I think
Mm-hmm.
they've had it for a while. I think that
Mm-hmm.
they've earned some time off or whatever, whatever
Right. I mean,
leniency
as
comes
the
with
only
losing the belt.
champions right now that have to defend across multiple shows too. So.
Correct, exactly. So I think it kind of makes sense, right, to give them even because we want as much exposure for Jade as possible. I
Mm-hmm.
think also one last analysis. I
Mm-hmm.
think watching her, she is she's a physical specimen, but I do think she needs more time working with Bianca to really become a
Yeah, she
better
needs
wrestler.
seasoning. I would
Yep,
agree.
yep. So just for those reasons,
I would concur.
for those reasons.
Yeah. All right. Next up, uh, you got the world heavyweight title on the line as main event Jay Uso yeet, challenges the new world heavyweight champion. No longer senior money in the bank. He's now senior campeon, Damian Priest. Where you going, Rod?
No time soon will Jey Uso win the world championship, any form of world championship. Let me start there.
Okay.
I mean, if it's like alternate universe Marty Jannetty uh was given the Shawn Michaels treatment and still couldn't get over, it's
I mean, he's over.
yeah, it just doesn't strike me as like that's the guy that I need to have the belt on.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, and plus Damian, he just got the belt. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree. I mean, Jay can take the loss here and not really be hurt. He's so over right now, the whole Yeet thing, the way he's got the crowd go, you know what I mean? So he doesn't really lose any steam, so to speak.
Does Here's my question for you, an interesting
Mm-hmm.
quibbit. Does
Mm-hmm.
uh does the bloodline cost Jay, or does the Judgment Day help Damien, or is it
I
a
don't know.
clean
I don't know.
is it
I
a
mean,
clean go?
the the bloodline is going to be there, but it's.
Yeah, are they even focused on Jay at the moment? You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I don't think so, to be honest. So.
And there is a little bit of Damien face stuff going on with him
Mm-hmm.
kind of having different energy than the Judgment Day at times if you
Mm-hmm.
look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
mean, yeah, they want him. They want him to be healed, but the audience is getting over organically. So
Mm-hmm.
see what happens there.
Interesting.
Speaking of the bloodline, next up we have tag action as the Viper Randy Orton will team with the prize fighter himself, Kevin Owens, to face the quote unquote new bloodline, uh, represented by the MFT Tama Tonga and the enforcer himself, Solo Sikoa, with the wise man and Hall of Famer in their corner, Mr. Paul Heyman. Um, wow, what a Hall of Fame speech by Heyman over
Yeah.
Mania weekend. Uh,
Yeah.
but
One of the top five all
personally,
time.
yeah, I mean, this new bloodline angle, tells me that they need to get the win here, or it's all for nothing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, I think it's a solid win. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see color. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some color here. I
Mm-hmm.
think they leave Kevin in a Dusty Rhodes-esque mess.
Mm-hmm.
Randy gets taken out. I think it's just a show. They may now do they unveil the new member
It's
or not yet?
possible. I mean, there is talk that Jacob Fatu has signed. So that could be an element that plays into it here. But I want more so than will there be a new member? I just want to
Mm-hmm.
know: are they going to ever tell us what MFT means?
No,
You know,
it's gonna be an aura. He's my MFT.
they keep referring to Jacob Fatu as, I mean, to Tama Tonga as the MFT,
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, what's MFT? You
I
know.
got an idea what MF is, and Tonga maybe for the T. I don't. I have no idea.
Yeah, but it would be very redundant if it is, if the T is because they always say the MFT Tama Tonga. So if it is, if the T is Tonga, then it's the MF Tonga Tama Tonga. It's it's
Uh, hey, now one last interesting dynamic of this too. Perhaps KO and Randy get the win
Mhm.
via disqualification, but
Possible.
get decimated. Just a thought.
Yeah, it's possible.
Just a thought.
Next up for the WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat, our new champion Bayley will defend against both Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. Um, which way you going here, Rodney?
Well, let's be honest. Besides Bayley, Tiffany's the only one who has a slight chance, and that chance is slight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bayley just won at Mania. I think
Mm-hmm.
you look at who's in here against her. I think it's Bayley. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty clearly Bayley.
Yeah, I agree with you on on both fronts. Like this is the one matchup here that I'm like the least confident on. I am going Bayley as well, but I do think that there is that outside chance of Tiffany sneaking that heelish win without actually beating
Mm-hmm.
Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
That's like so like it's like 51-49 Bayley. I mean, it's like that close.
Yeah, and for it to be a backlash, a WrestleMania backlash, it wouldn't be beyond the pale for something kind of shocking like this, a quick turnaround
Hmm.
championship to start a good feud through the summer with Bayley, and you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
I mean, like I said, the other reason is like it seems under Triple H right now, they are not wanting to hotshot titles as much.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
once a title change happens, that person, usually gets at least a couple of, at
Hmm.
least a month or two out of it. I mean, I think like what the last kind of quick turnaround in terms of a title change was
Damian
prob
Priest.
no, well, I mean outside of the cash in thing, but I'm talking like outside of the exceptions more or less, with like one Money in the Bank is the tag titles when Cody and Jay won them and then Judgment Day got them back relatively quickly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that was only about a month
yeah.
kind of thing. So like that was the last kind of hot shot deal.
I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I've
So
forgotten that they were the tag team champions, and Jay was ecstatic at the press conference.
well, that's what gave us Yeet.
Yeah,
It wasn't just
yeah,
he was ecstatic at the person. He was hammered.
yeah, sloshed.
And this takes us to the main event of the evening. Yes, he finished his story. We have the new WWE Undisputed Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and he will be defending the title against the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Um, again, it's his first defense after all that build and everything. So I got Cody retaining.
Same. Yeah, I got Cody retaining. It's just not enough. I mean, it's not enough heat with AJ Styles is entrenched in a feud with LA Knight still, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just not enough there for me to feel like it's his first title defense. Evaluating this title reign, I know it's early.
Mm-hmm.
I need someone to arise as a viable dancing partner for, like, I don't believe AJ's gonna beat him, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody believes that. I need somebody to arise to feel like super threat. I don't know if they need to rehash a Braun Strowman. I
Well,
don't know.
Braun was drafted to Raw, so
Yeah. But something like that,
mm-hmm.
somebody like that. But I like is Randy.
Randy's on SmackDown.
I like that feud
Mm-hmm.
ultimately to be the one to really, because Cody's reign has not been cemented
Mm-hmm.
yet, right? Hasn't had his own signature yet. The
True.
the winning the title, he had the title win, but his reign hasn't had that signature feud.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's not it.
Yeah. Like I said, we're
So
not even a month into it, so we'll see where it goes. So
who would you
honestly,
like?
yeah, we got nothing different. So this is a lot like the 2024 WWE draft. Nothing's going to change here.
But it was still good to hear. It was still good to hear our opinions.
So obviously the title is not going to go anywhere unless something else gets announced between now and Saturday. That we differ on. If that happens, we'll put it down in the comments and let you all know. But yeah, right now there's nothing different. Speaking of the draft, what was your take on it?
Yeah, it was awesome to hear the roster get announced with all the fanfare. The same roster, just they pretty much told us who was on there on their
I mean,
shows.
it was very minimal changes, and then like some of the changes weren't even, you know, all that much of a change, to be honest. Like Braun going from SmackDown to Raw, like he was barely on SmackDown. So it's not like he had this long storied SmackDown and all of a sudden, no, now he's on
Yeah.
Raw. He was just called up. And then the same thing with Andrade moving, over to SmackDown from Raw. I mean, he just came back in January and hasn't had, too many angles going on and everything like that. So like even the people that did switch was like, okay, you know. Um,
They're
I
gonna have
think
to think. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead,
no, I
Ken.
was gonna say I think for the idea of a draft is good in theory, but like
Mm-hmm.
drafting is, getting called up, not moving from one thing to another. Like they need to come up with a different buzzword for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you still have a draft aspect to it, but like the draft is only relevant for NXT. You know what I mean? And then
Gotcha.
the rest of it is
Gotcha.
kind of like a free agency or a trading or you know what I mean? Something along
Yeah,
those
yeah.
lines.
Trade that. Yeah, yeah. But and you can still do the war. You know, they're trying to tie, like you say, they're trying to time it up with the NFL draft and kind
Yep.
of ride some of that, a lot of that momentum. But so in theory, you're 1,000% right. I see what they're doing, but in actual like application,
Mm-hmm.
it falls flat because nothing's happening,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right? So I think in the
like during the
future,
NFL draft, like free agents don't get announced.
they're gonna, especially ones that's gonna stay with their team.
Yeah. And
So
with no pick in the draft,
yeah, yeah.
and
So it's
the New
I
York
think
Giants are re-signing, so it's
I agree with you about 1,000,000% that. And I think it's something that and I trust Triple. He has a lot of our trust right now, right? This
mm-hmm.
current production staff has our
Mm-hmm.
creative has our trust. He's gonna have to think of something though, some kind of way to make this because right now it's just Raw with a podium and like announcing who's on the roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So and
They're
so is
already.
not going
So,
anywhere. This
yep.
person is not going anywhere.
And it's crazy because they maybe even the way that they say it when they
Mm-hmm.
announce it, like so Cody's already on SmackDown, and with
Mm-hmm.
they go and they say that SmackDown drafts because they didn't draft Cody.
Well, no, they
Like,
the champions were protected, so they didn't need to
yeah,
make
yeah.
any
I
announcements
I
on the
I, I was
champion.
giving an example, like as
Mm-hmm.
for an example, like if he's already on the show and they announce him, they say that they drafted him, but no, you really didn't. You just be like, we're gonna they re-signed him, like you say,
Mm-hmm.
call it a re-signing,
Mm-hmm.
play that angle of it, but yeah,
Yeah, but
or or
mm-hmm.
structure your stories in a way that you can actually draft important people. You just have to match up their parts with them, right? You have to match up their feud partners with them with the
Mm-hmm.
draft.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing with it too, and I think they're right in their new ideology of, those people within the company that are in relationships, keeping those people on the same show. Like in the
Mm-hmm.
past, they didn't care about that
Mm-hmm.
and everything, which makes things very difficult for people, especially if they
Mm-hmm.
got families and everything. But in the fact that they do that now, like once one member of the relationship is announced, it's like, okay, well, we know where this other one's going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like, once they like Bianca, like once Bianca was picked for SmackDown, you're like, okay, well, I guess Lashley and the Profits are staying on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah. Got you. And I guess they did a decent job of hiding some of that by like not having to announce. Did they announce that they drafted Lashley and the Profits?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
that
they
was
just
that
kept
was
it
on
quiet.
Monday. Yeah, they were eligible on Monday. They weren't part of the draft pool Friday night. But like once Bianca was drafted on Friday night, it's like, okay, I don't know what round is going to happen on Monday, but obviously sometime Monday they're going to say it about it.
Yeah.
And they did. The same thing with uh like obviously she wasn't drafted because she's protected as a champion, but like Becky, you knew Becky was staying on Raw, so when Seth got announced for Raw, it was no big shock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Samantha
Yeah. Yeah.
Irvin is the ring announcer for Raw, so when Ricochet got announced for Raw, okay, no big shock.
Yeah. We knew.
Yeah.
We knew.
So, I said those are our Backlash predictions. Come back a little later this month. We will be doing our predictions for King and Queen of the Ring, as well as NXT Battleground. So we got both of those coming a little later this month. They'll be on back-to-back evenings. King and Queen of the Rings on a Saturday, Battlegrounds on the Sunday. So got a couple of announced participants for the King of the Ring tournament. You got Drew McIntyre is declared for the tournament. Xavier Woods is declared for the tournament, and so has Gunther. So
Mm.
no announcements for Queen of the Ring just yet, but I mean those are some big names for King of the Ring. Like with those three names, is there
Hmm.
anybody, you think any of those three announced names gonna do it?
Yeah, I got definitely two out of the three I want to see in the finals, right? I want to see Gunther and
Drew.
Drew in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe that's the direct, and it's interesting because of those two, both of them just lost uh kind of big title reigns, had title,
Mm-hmm.
and so it makes me intrigued. Like it feels like one of them is going to get this as kind of a replacement for that spot.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So,
Drew's all embroiled with CM Punk right now, so I don't see
hmm
how King of the Ring would play into that feud in
hmm
any capacity. So, I mean, of the announced
hmm
people so far, I'm leaning toward Gunther. Uh,
hmm
I think I would love for them to bring back I mean, they only ever did it the one time, but like bring back the idea of, okay, the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring get automatic title shots at SummerSlam
Yes,
kind of thing. Like
yes,
the last time they did, oh, the King of the Ring earns a title opportunity at SummerSlam, that was when Brock, you know, burst onto the scene.
yeah, yeah. I like that.
And then he faced Rock and captured the title, in less than a year.
But I do like that though. I see those are the touches I think that makes things feel more important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you can manufacture a feeling of a champion versus a champion
Mm-hmm.
at a major PLE,
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
It
I
makes
mean, like I
Gunther,
said, you've also got Money in the Bank between now and SummerSlam, so we'll see who ends up with the briefcase. Like I said, it's something they've never done before, but I would love for them to do something where that Money in the Bank holder somehow earns a title opportunity another way.
hmm
And then they
hmm
go out there and just beat the ever loving crap out of the person and then turn around and cash in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they beat them up, get disqualified, but then they just cash in and then they win
yeah.
because it's just
Yeah,
something that hasn't been done.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right. So there you have it. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Let us know your picks and predictions as well down below. Anything you want to add, Rod?
I got Nia Jax to be the queen of the wing.
Cool, Naya, huh?
I got Nia Jax. So there we
That,
go.
that could work. That could work. I mean, the other one I could see being a great, because like just the you could also, if you're not going to go the serious route with it, there's the whole kind of comedic side of it. The other one I could see really doing some funny stuff with a moniker of Queen of the Ring, Chelsea Green.
I got to watch Chelsea a little bit more. I haven't gotten a chance to
You
see
know what I
her
mean? Like she's
as
got
much
that
as I
whole
need to.
Karen gimmick thing going on where she's always whining and complaining about something, and then all of a sudden she's queen. It just adds more to it. Well, I am the queen, and you know what I mean? So
Queen Chelsea Green, that kind of rhymes. I hear it.
yeah, yep.
Queen
So that's
Chelsea
another one
Green.
I could see, potentially. But I do like the Nia pick. I do. So wherever you are, we hope you're doing well. Take care of one another, and we will see you when we see you.
See y'all when we see y'all.